What's up my friends, welcome back to the channel. Cinco de Mayo being right around the corner, tequila even more than usual will flow over the weekend. So I believe it's the best timing to introduce you to the NOGAVE Syrup, a tasty, sustainable alternative to the agave syrup. I'm gonna tell you all there is to know about this today. We're gonna use it in a cocktail, obviously, a Truffles on the Rocks riff on the Tommy's Margarita. So without further ado, if you guys are ready, let's go. Alright, so we keep on hearing some scandals about additives in tequila. It's a very hot topic right now, but what we don't really hear about because it's not as glamorous is the fact that agave syrup suffers from the same problem. Because agave plants take many years to grow mature, and because there's an incredible increase in popularity of any agave product, producers tend to harvest the plants underaged, resulting in a plant that didn't have enough time to produce enough sugar. So for tequila, it's a problem because the tequila won't be as tasty as it should be. And for the syrup, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Not enough sugar in the plant means not enough sugar in the syrup. So in both cases, companies that are using underage agave plants tend to use additives to compensate for the fact that they are not sweet enough. So while more of us every day are getting away from tequila with additives, why would we stick to the agave syrup if that means that we are adding additives to our additive-free tequila, right? So in order to bring awareness to this problem and also to find a solution, some bartenders started to play with different types of sugar to create a syrup that would mimic the viscosity and flavor profile of agave syrup, but this time without additives. So if you want to know more about some bartenders that are kind of the pioneers of that trend, and also to understand better the challenges and issues agave shortage can cause, I'm gonna link an article from punchdrink.com in the description down below. One of the key things to remember if you want to play with this concept is the fact that there's not just one recipe for an agave syrup. It's more a way to describe syrups that are sustainable, additives-free, with rich flavor and some green notes that will make better cocktails than those made with agave syrup filled up with additives. So I'm gonna share my recipe today, the one I got the best results with, but feel free to experiment to use that as a base if you want to create one of your own. So to make my NOGAVE syrup today, what you're gonna need is demerara sugar, unsweetened organic coconut water, and half and half of buckwheat and orange blossom honey. So first in the bowl, you're gonna add 200 grams of demerara sugar and pour over it 150 ml of coconut water that you previously heated. That's gonna help for the dissolution. Once the sugar is pretty much dissolved, you're gonna add 100 grams of your honey mix. Stir until the sugar is perfectly dissolved. And pro tip, use a little bit of the syrup while still hot to rinse the cup you use to measure the honey. That way you're gonna make sure it's all gonna go in the syrup. Then all you have to do is to bottle it up and label it, and this is how we make the NOGAVE syrup. This triple flavored syrup has its richness from the demerara, some green vegetal fruit notes from the coconut water, and some light sweetness, floral and slightly gamey from the honey mix. While being very unique, it has some of the flavor key components of the agave syrup, and it makes a great alternative. So let's use it in my riff on the Tommy's Margarita. What you're gonna need to make it is Blanco tequila, our NOGAVE syrup, freshly squeezed lime juice, a pineapple and coconut foam, and some Tajín spices for the rim. To make the foam, we're gonna need 150 grams of coconut water, 150 grams of pure pressed pineapple juice, 1.5 grams of methyl cellulose, 1.5 grams of xanthan gum, and 1.3 grams of malic acid. You're gonna add all the ingredients in a blender and blend it at high speed for 30 seconds. Pour that in a pint-sized cream whipper. Charge it once with an NO2 cartridge. Shake vigorously for about 10 seconds. Charge it one more time with an NO2 cartridge, and again shake it for about 10 seconds. Now, while you could use the foam right away, I recommend you place it in the fridge at least 1 hour before using it. And pro tip for the foam, while I believe this is the best recipe, you can also make it using 1 egg white instead of the methyl cellulose and xanthan gum, and 20 ml of lime juice instead of the malic acid. And as a friendly reminder, if you want to support the channel, you can always do it through Patreon. What you would get in exchange, aside from my eternal gratitude, is a little ebook that I post every month with all the recipes I've covered on the channel the month before, with pictures and extra details. But this month, aside from the regular ebook, I will share the recipe of the foam with another cocktail I used it with for free. So all of you who may be hesitating whether or not you should subscribe to the Patreon, you now get a chance to have a look at what the ebooks look like for free. But now let's make the cocktail. First, we're gonna rim our glass with tajin spices. Then in our shaker, we're gonna add 2 ounces of blanco tequila, half an ounce of our NOGAVE syrup, and 1 full ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. Next, you're gonna fill your shaker with ice and shake it vigorously the usual 10 to 15 seconds. We're gonna add a beautiful big block of clear ice in our glass, double strain the cocktail, and top it up with the foam. I think I did not mention it before, but this will give you about 6 to 8 cocktails, and it will stay good in the fridge for about 5 days. And there have it, my friends. This is how we make the NOGAVE PIÑA'RGARITA. Cheers. This syrup complements perfectly the tequila here. It enhances the beautiful vegetal note of the agave. It adds the perfect amount of sweetness, complexity, and a little bit of viscosity. Then the foam adds a lot in texture, also beautiful flavors. The rim, just a little bit of salt and spiciness. I love it, and I hope you're gonna love it too. So my friends, this is it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Turn that bell if you want to make sure not to miss the next one. Until then, thank you very much again. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and see you very soon. Cheers.